aya senendi mense beta alla jata kende to fana sotale CTO block carbon filter o fana mu filter timi yalon ko asi chemical o bonnino jiol kono le mense beta alla jata kende filter mum boko CTO block carbon mense jiola chemical o be bondi akono pour ka alla jata kende sa hen nim filter sabol be kili wo kili na pansun doku ngawata tankol fana sotale kabrim 500 5000 fokata 10000 liters plumbing fittings fana be mol bulle alsemol tarano sukuta highway mariama kunda johnson wala isimol kubandi 505 5691 796 8270 one stop water limited solutions inatale ka jiko be sonende Gambia banko.
Good morning there, you're watching QTV this morning and I am Jennifer Sonko with my co-host Ibrahim Balde here. Mana Mahmoud Kasbi, don't take Kasbi.
I just love this recipe. Mariama is very good at this. I mean, her mixture. Xam nga lu ma ci jaaxal.
Waaw.
Bés bu mu ñëwut liggéey. Any other person could mix du dee safee nii.
Du dee saf.
Saf bii moom rek moo ko amee.
Penda mu ngi seetaan.
No, that's home.
Ba pare Balde tey dama ko
No, that's home.
Du man na taalu watee yow. TikTok bi dog naa ko.
Janab dinaa la waxal dara tam. Potential husband yooyu xool noonu si biti.
Man xooluma kenn.
These are the people ñëwuñ. So
waaye man xooluma kenn.
ñun ñi nga xam ne
ñu ne daal dëkk bi ñu ngi foog ne. dañoo camouflage gars yi te luy am na.
xoolal ñun ñu laa jege. ñun ñu la jege. ñooñu nga gis. baal di daaxel loo gisut.
Man du loolu waaye ñu ne da nga nekk barrière si ñoo xam ne xëj na sax mooy loolu.
góor fit.
góor fit
boo amee fit nga ñëw ñun ñu ngi fi.
waaw Mr Mbodj mu ngi fi application Mr Mbodj mooy receive applications.
Elijah mu ne moom.
waaw
mu ngi doon ne Thérèse mu ne man si suuf lay fanaan. lii yëpp wax nañ ma ko fi waaye man am not surrendering de.
te teg ñu ne da nga am live chicken te man du ma suuy dunka.
suma kër moom bari na ay ganaar.
man du ma suuy dunka de du muy ganaar daal suuyuma ko man.
ñu suuy waale ko ñun ñëpp ñu
nga suuy ko mun naa ko toog waaye ay toog di suuy dunki ganaar chicken buy dunda mais baral ma rek wow. So with seriousness, welcome to this morning. Thank you so much for joining us on the show. It's always good to be back here, you know, having some fun all of the time. As usual, we have the African proverb, we have the newspaper review. Our guest is already here, Mamadou Mbodj. Thank you so much for joining us to help us analyze some of the stories that we have there. And on Community Watch today, but still, before going on to Community Watch, we'll be joined by Ansumana Isonyasi to give us an update when it comes to happenings at the border. And also on Community Watch, we'll be taking a look at water shortage in Laiterkunda, Sabiji. I think water shortage, it is an issue. I saw NAWEC last time give a press release in relation to some of these different areas that will have to suffer water scarcity. But the fact that they're communicating, at least it's better. When they communicate, then we get to know what the problems are. Yes. But this time we're taking a look at Laiterkunda, Sabiji, but it seems for them it's continuing. You know, it's not something periodical, it's all the time. So we'll be joined by Philip Anthony Silva, a resident of Laiterkunda, Sabiji, to take us through how this is disturbing that whole environment. And on social issues today, we'll be taking a look at a waste campaign that the University of the Gambia has decided to champion. I know waste, as a program, it's like we have a deliberate policy to talk about environmental issues, which I'm happy about. So today we'll be talking about, once again, about waste in general, the long-standing difficulties we have as a country to manage our waste. So what is our African proverb today?
Okay, thank you, Janaba. Once again, it's good to be here on this morning. And did you acknowledge our sponsors today? Okay,
our sponsors, let me take you back. One Stop Water Solution and yes. So our Camera Unified IT Institute. For all of your IT needs, diploma bila, certificate bila, Cisco bila, yo setare bila sigina ngada kondanka, them si Surau Camera Unified IT Institute to get all you need, and One Stop Water Solution for all of your water needs, you know, dispensers, tanks, anything that you need to purify your water, head right on to One Stop Water Solution. And we are not limited to this, just to tell you that the program is open if you want to come and join our amazing team where you get to have fun, you know, you are entertained, you are educated as well. It's on this show. Come and join us and we get to achieve that together.
All right, thank you. Let's take a look at our African proverb. All monkeys cannot hang from the same branch. I repeat again. All monkeys cannot hang from the same branch.
Mr. Mbodj, tey nag maa insist ne kenn du fi wax African proverb bi tey bi laa waat kenn du fi wax moom mooy ubbi géew bi ubbil ñu géew bi.
non xam nga suñ ne we innovate others follow bàyyee naa la ko because xam naa ne moom yow baax nga pour si ay faram fàcce ay African proverb.
Masha Allah.
you know
waaw
I mean so.
Mr. Mbodj kii nag jox na ma kaddu di jox na ma crown bu mag de.
moom baax na ci because moom su ko lifinee rek ñun dañ ci dee jànge kon baalal ñu rek ñu seet lu tax ay golo duñ mën a ig benn guy.
I'm not sure na branch mooy guy. Banghas.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. So let's go.
Yes, the proverb is all monkeys cannot hang from the same branch. So what does this tell you? I feel like I'm the only person most of the time jumping on this to like, and most of the time when I give my opinion, I just feel like everybody agrees and then no one has any other thing to say. So what does this tell you? All monkeys cannot hang from the same branch. This is just giving me that sense of how diverse trying to achieve something can be.
Absolutely.
Yes, that's what it's telling me.
For me, my first thought was, well, not least because the branch will snap.
Exactly.
I just started from that humor, as it were, really. And then, you see, with these proverbs, you can interpret them in any number of ways, in many ways. Right. So, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's given me that sense of how diverse things are. If you have to hang on a branch to achieve something, the next person can hang on the roots to achieve the same thing. It does not mean that there's a specific method of just achieving anything in life. And the fact that, you know, someone is hanging on it doesn't mean you have to follow that trend and hang on it.
That's it.
You be a trendsetter.
And
you know,
we all don't have to hang on the same thing
to achieve whatever.
You simply cannot do that.
Yes.
We can expand it further. You know, sort of squeeze the metaphor, if you like, as much as we can.
Right.
You need variety for a system to be dynamic. In many ways, dynamism implies variety and interaction of a variety of inputs, voices, ideas, whatever, a whole variety.
Yeah.
So chart your way.
Yeah.
Take the untrodden path.
Yeah,
you know, Robert Frost, you know, the path not taken or the road not taken. That sort of thing. Yeah,
it doesn't mean you have to always take the easy way, the way that everybody, it's just like in business where sometimes someone starts something and then you see everyone wants to do it because it's profitable, but it might, because the skills might be different. You know, you might be doing one thing, it's profitable, it's working for you, but the moment the next person does it, it might not work for that particular individual because maybe you do not have the required things in place, or you do not have the understanding as to the reason why that particular individual is doing whatever the person is doing. So for me, be unique. That's the thing. Be unique in your own way as to taking the path that you feel it's best for you rather than just following the path that every other person is taking.
I will connect this to business. I mean, sometimes people like to copy and paste, you understand? It reminds me of a coffee seller at Westfield. I mean, this guy, he started selling coffee. Gradually, people get used to him. They come to his place all the time. So there is another guy also who established the same thing at the other side. I mean, but if you go to the first guy's place, you will see the place is always groovy. You understand? So it's like maybe the second guy should have tried another thing different from these guys. But maybe he's saying people coming to this guy, and he also have this in mind that what about if I establish this kind of a business, it will work. Maybe this guy has his own secrets of doing his own thing. So trying something new, I mean, I think it's very important. And most of the time it happens, you know, not only in the Gambia, I mean, but in business generally. Because I have a bakery. Mr. Mbodj wants to do bakery. But Mr. Mbodj doesn't know what it takes to maintain a bakery?
Yeah, for me, I do not have a problem with someone doing a bakery and I want to do a bakery because bakery is general, coffee is general, but my problem is what different touch are you going to add to it to make sure that people accept yours and accept Mr. Mboch. That's the difference. That's why sometimes we talk about branding. The branding comes into play. Your marketing skills, which is different.
Skills.
Yes, it's too different, you know. So for me, bakery is wide. We can't have one bakery. Like it's food. Like we needed coffee. But it's about the difference that you attach to how your services will be delivered to your customers.
That's what we
and
call
all of that.
that's what we call marketing.
Right.
The way you market your business to the public.
Right.
You understand? We can sell the same thing, but Jenaba, you might be a better marketer than I.
So yeah, that's the difference there. It also goes down to attitude. Sometimes people feel like because there's something moral there, everyone has to follow a path. There's a specific path because ñepp ngay hang ci guuy bi ñepp ben jikko bi lañ wara am because yow lolu nga té as nga xamné dafa right dedet ku nekk you are entitled to yow naka nga feel ne nonu nga wara behave as long as you are kind to the next individual, you're not harming the next individual. Lolu tamit fokk na it's something very important. Attitude, behavior, it's open. You know, what might be normal to Mr. Mboch might not be normal to me, and what might be normal to me might not be normal to me. But obviously, there are established things that are put in place where there's a pattern that everybody needs to follow. But beyond just our day-to-day activities, it doesn't mean that we have to strictly hang on to something specific to live our lives.
Yeah, this is very interesting. You've said there are so many different things. Things are so dense.
Right.
Okay, yes. One understands sort of the many-sidedness of the character and stuff like that. But here, let us be careful. What is individual expression and what is sort of good old-fashioned manners, good manners? That is not up to me. It's a communal
it's a general. That's why I said there are ones that are general. Yeah.
So that balance between the I and the we, that will always be a challenge, really, for people, especially living in sort of more individualistic times like this. So when should I express myself and when should I follow things? Innovation and following good practice.
Right.
So there's a balance.
Yeah.
Nobody owns good practice. I
not
may
specific.
stumble onto certain ideas, but they have to work for other people, then that's really not useful, as it were, and stuff like that. And coming into a saturated market, as you suggested earlier, some people say that there's always room at the top.
There is.
Absolutely. Don't worry how saturated it is. As you said, what is it that I am adding
to it?
To it. So I can come in a market that apparently is saturated. You know, I shouldn't even go into it. But I come with a twist to my brand.
With a
and then
sparkle.
I take over the market.
With a sparkle.
It's a huge risk.
Yes.
I'm going to take granted.
But it's just as in
this
career, Mr. Mboch.
This is how it works.
Yeah.
And then there was a third point that I wanted to make. You mentioned marketing elements and all that.
Right.
Absolutely important. But your biggest sort of marketing asset is the quality of your product.
Right.
No amount of marketing will in the end save a bad product.
No.
In the beginning, you might take us for a ride, but once bitten, twice shy, I ain't coming back.
Yeah.
That sort of thing.
That's true.
So this is how it works, you know.
Yeah, but in this instance, when quality is something that is fixed for everyone, then other factors get to determine.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's it. And this is the thing. That's it. As we gain more knowledge, more experience, our idea of quality changes. Look at recently, you know, everybody is into our diet, balanced diet. You shouldn't eat this, it's got too much sugar, it's got too much salt, it's got too much that. So we have allowed what we are understanding in the medical sciences to seep through our social thinking. This is the whole idea. We must always take knowledge and let it and assimilate it into our own social thinking.
And you know, it goes beyond that. It also has to do with career, you know, career sometimes. Like Mr. Mboch, like for example, media. There's a reason why some people follow Mr. Mboch. for example. They follow you fixed. There are a lot of journalists, there are a lot of shows. But for example, Viewpoint, there's a reason why someone down there in Basse is always watching it, because of the difference it brings. It's not like because it's the only political show or kind of thing, but because of what that offers that something else doesn't offer. So that's just it.
Absolutely. So let's put it this way, yeah? Each will have your own model.
Right.
You must look at the situation, have your own model,
right,
and be honest to it.
Right.
Some people will like it, will enjoy it.
Yes, some
others wouldn't. So you factor all of these things into it. But the key is have a model.
Yeah.
Work on it and be loyal to it.
Right.
No matter what happens, just be loyal to it.
Yeah.
And just move on. And don't forget, the model is always evolving.
Right.
Based on experience.
Yeah.
So it's not a dead end. It's open. The windows are open.
All right. So today, I'm taking it with me. Be loyal to your craft. Right? Be loyal to your craft, you guys. Take that with you today, the whole day, and get to remember it. So that is all we have on the African Proverb. A social issue segment of its own, I can say. So moving on now to the newspaper review, we'll go for a short commercial break. And when we come back, we'll take a look at the headlines on Foray. We'll be right back.
Begin your SUV life. S-Pass Motors, the new authorized dealer for Kia. Visit us today or call us on 3522-222, 353-2222.
Welcome back from that break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. If you've missed anything, head right on to our Facebook as well as YouTube page to catch up on what you have missed. And now we're on the newspaper review. Ibrahim?
Yes. All right. I'm just trying to connect this.
Connect the dots?
Yes. I think yesterday we were talking about the secos.
I take it back. Yes. I read that. Yes. We'll delve into that.
I saw something
I
like
want
that.
to take it back.
I'm saying to myself
what I said yesterday and what is happening.
How can this be possible?
Yeah.
Okay. This is the Foray newspaper. Intense gunfire in Casamas scares away residents of villages, and of course 4 officers disciplined for assault. Basse High Court sentences man to death. Farmers in North Bank region expresses dissatisfaction over car scarcity in secos, and of course IEC under fire for lapses in enforcing residential qualifications. Land Minister says plans afoot to develop land policy. GPU organizes media political party forum. Yes, that's what we have on the Foray newspaper.
All right. Yeah. Any interesting? What do you want us to start with?
Yes. Let's take a look at the 4 officers disciplined for assault. I think yesterday we dealt with this. I mean, we talked about it, and it wanted to be a very big and hot debate here. Mr. Mboj, we'll just connect where we stopped yesterday. Citizens should be responsible, isn't it? That's where I stopped. So,
Balde, you want to take us back or something?
Yes, I'm taking us back.
Okay.
No, let's go. Let's move on. Now we're talking about being disciplined.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's still
what the
crucial,
paper said,
the crucial angle here. That's what's happened. Because I think after all the arguments, after all the noise, the din, I think essentially we agreed that really the security police, you can really defend yourself, obviously, that's just human. Right. But again, once you've subdued anybody, a suspect, whatever, it's really barbaric to start hitting them when you are not directly threatened.
Yeah.
I think we agreed on that. So I think even the National Human Rights Commission had come out, to say, come on, we need to do something, IGP, we need to do something about that. So it appears as if maybe you should go a bit more into the details of this particular one. It appears as if the IGP or the police, they've made the move and they've disciplined, the police officers, the errant police officers. And this is what it should be. When I do wrong, there must be consequences. I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. There must be consequences. When I do right, well, a lot of people will praise me. I will even get some money for it and stuff like that. But again, when I do wrong, I ought to be punished. It's important for all of us for these things to go on. But we will see what exactly that means. Because when I tell you that I've disciplined A, B, or C, what exactly does that mean? So with these words, we must always analyze, okay, what actions would it lead me to?
And for the question.
So what actions have you taken to show that you've disciplined this one? I'm not sure, I do not know.
Yeah, like you said, we have to further question, or even if it's written, to further ask questions as to just getting to know what are these disciplinary actions and all of that, because sometimes it can be general, to just lead us to believe certain things when those are not the case.
Well, absolutely. So we should be careful, especially with us journalists. We should be careful with language in many ways, not fall for these sort of abstractions, because this is not really telling me anything in many ways. So we must go into the details and see what's happening and see whether would it recur. See, this is the whole idea. What are we doing to seriously curb it? Because we've been seeing it recurring, haven't we? So it appears as if whatever strategy they've got, whatever they're doing, it seems not to be seeping through to the officers right there on the ground. I do not know. So that is really what the challenge is. Not having every time these things happen, okay, we've disciplined this or we've done that,
and
but it keeps on happening and it keeps on happening.
So
we need to see a certain metrics that is showing us that these incidents are reducing.
True. So moving on, today I do not have, I normally have my newspapers on my phone, but my phone is locked today.
All right,
so you will lead the way.
Yes. Intense gunfire in Casamas scares away residents of the village.
Recently, I'm not sure, maybe some historians will come and tell me.
I know Eso will be here later.
Later on, that's it. I can't remember the time when we became so involved, so embroiled in this. This has been going on. The separatists in Casamas have been fighting for independence from Senegal since 1982. It's been here for a while, So, but I cannot remember in the past when we felt so involved in it. And it appears as if the presence of ECOMIG has sort of something to do with that. Recently, we've had to invite ECOMIG into here, and the Senegalese soldiers are part of this group. How much has that contributed to Gambia being embroiled in it? One. Secondly, there's also the so-called illegal timber trade. We have heard from Senegalese that sometimes they would chase these vehicles, carrying this illegal timber. They will come to Gambia, Dutch go into Casamas, and they've had to follow them. We've heard all sorts. But here, we need our diplomats, our government, to tread carefully here. We don't want to get involved in it. Because you have no idea when would it ever end. These nationalist fights, I mean, they can go on forever. I'm not sure what we did in the past to keep out of it. And now I understand the pressures, because for us really as a sovereign state, then you support the inviolability of a state. Really, we are with Senegal, at least officially, because Senegal does the central government, that is the main government. Anything else is separatist.
It is.
We are being told by some politicians here that we should be neutral. Even though there are certain international obligations where you respect the sovereignty of that state and you deal with that,
particular
sort of thing.
Yeah.
So how would our diplomacy, how would we manage this in such a way that we wouldn't be involved? We don't want to be involved.
We
it's unfortunate that the borders, we cannot do away with the borders.
Yes.
But what is our strategic interest?
Yeah.
We follow it. That is the key. How do we conceive of our strategic interest given the circumstances we are in right now? I really do not have the answer for that. That's for
it's left to them to play, to play their cards right, like you mentioned. How are we going to juggle between both to make sure that the right things happen?
That's it.
You know,
we will try to broker peace and all of that, but it looks as if this is going to take a while.
Yes,
the nature of this fight, after all, it's been going on for a long time. They have had the separatists and the government in Dakar. They have had all sorts of agreements over the past, but yet, because of its low intensity nature, once in a while, you're going to have these flare-ups. This is what we've been seeing recently. And then perhaps there'll be another deal, and then it will go on. So how are we going to have a long-term solution?
When you look at the situation, Gambia is in a very funny one, because we have a very good relation with Casamas. Most of their family members are in the Gambia. Some are here, and Senegal too. You understand?
So this is interesting the way you put it.
But
Casamance is not a sovereign state.
Yeah,
I know. This is the point we were trying to make. Yeah, this is the point we were trying to make. But of course, we have a border. We have a huge border. That's a social relationship.
Yes.
Exactly.
But when it comes to diplomatically,
be careful here. Our government will think differently from us, we, the ordinary citizens, and what we feel.
Well,
the pressures that the government
is the same
will face
Senegal.
is different.
I mean, it's the same Senegal.
Yeah, but according to what as it stands, to them, they're not.
Exactly.
So, and then we do not have that,
this is what I am trying to, put on the table so that you can understand.
But if you bring sensation into the, emotions, if we do.
All right. It is very funny. You can see we have a whole lot of relations in the Casamas, and other parts of Senegal, you understand? So therefore, I think our government should know how to approach this situation. Otherwise, it will be very funny.
Socially, we have all sorts of relationships. Nobody will ever deny that. But politically, we've had slightly different histories. They speak French, we speak English. And then we have different interests to some extent. So there are differences as well when we talk politically. Yes? And our two interests do not necessarily always converge. But here we have a problem. It is a much larger neighbor. So you, the smaller one, what must be your politics to manage things? I don't have force on my side. I don't have anything. So my power to negotiate, really, that's all I have, given my size. You could see why Sadaura Kairaba Jawara did what he did. He cultivated a certain internationalism. Absolutely, you're small, so you're safer in a crowd, in a group, not isolated. So this is the key. So what is today, 2022, what is our strategic interest? What's going on in Casamas? We don't want to be embroiled in that. This is a big subject. Really, it's a big one. So I do not know how we're going to deal with this. When we saw the press release signed by Sankare, they didn't really say much, but of course we do not expect it to say much except to try to reassure
the people.
But there must be much tougher questions being asked by now.
Yeah, true. I think our emotions, I mean, when it comes to these diplomatic issues, emotions don't come into play at all. There will always be emotions. They will always be, but it's not the center.
That's it. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
So emotions are always kept on the leash.
Exactly.
By the mind, your brain. Yeah. You keep your emotions on the leash.
Right.
But they are always around.
Yeah. But anyway, this topic actually is not part of the headlines there, but yesterday on QTV News, I read that GRA, Gambia here, and in Senegal are trying to collaborate to bring about one form of taxation for traders, whereby you just pay tax once. If you're from Senegal, you pay once, Gambia once, just to ensure that they get to limit tax evasion and all of that. Do you think that's a good one to reduce tax evasion? Probably time. For me, it's more of time than the evasion aspect of it.
Yes, the news to eliminate, as they call, the double taxation.
The double taxation
on the same income.
Yes.
You see, this is what they do, and
on the same business.
That's such a burden on people.
Yeah.
For me, my only surprise is that we're only doing this now. that sort of
After
thing.
doing it with other countries, and Senegal is like neighboring.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Or these are all wonderful things, but we'll keep on saying it, and I will say it. The next thing is, how well are we going to implement it?
My question.
Now we
That's
understand
my worry.
that is our main problem. Yeah. I mean, Paul Kagame once called it the crisis of implementation that he sees in Africa, and we must keep on emphasizing on it. Well done for the initiative, absolutely, to do all of these things. But that's just first half, if you know what I mean. If I use the football analogy, second half would be implementing it. Otherwise, it's not a full game, if you know what I mean. So this is really what we must insist on now with everybody. Fine, fantastic, the ideas and all of that. So when we implement, what do I expect to see? And we have our benchmarks as well. We shouldn't make it easy, make it difficult. What do I expect to see in a year's time? 2 years' time, 3 years, if you want even 5 years. It's up to you. But what are the benchmarks?
I am excited to see the modalities. I am excited to see what the modalities are, considering Gambia is a tax-based economy. The fact that they're trying to remove this double taxation, is it going to affect our revenue? Because we have to remember that this is something that we used to get on our own. Now we have to share with another country. So I just want to know how. You know, I just wish that we are able to have a representative from GRA at least these coming days, just so we question them in relation to this. And even beyond this, all the developments that they're coming up with, I can see they're good at coming up with initiatives. I'm not sure about its implementation.
But let's put it this, about this taxation and all the rest of it. When you remove these levies and taxes, yes, it might look like the state is getting less. But again, the boost you will give to the economy, to ordinary people out there.
Which will in turn ensure the standard of living increases.
So they need to keep their own money.
Right.
So if I have a business, I can invest more in my business. For me, I don't like high taxes. I'm of that persuasion.
I am not interested in that either. What I'm
trying to reduce the levies. It might look like you're getting less, but possibly you're getting more. People are doing business, then their businesses would grow, employment, and even spending, consumer spending. The more money I have, I will go out and buy to our shop. I'll buy more.
I agree with that.
I'll go to the mini market. I'll buy more.
I agree with that, but my concern is just, it's not about the amount of money we're getting, but the right money we're supposed to get. I don't know. It's not like the amount as in the bulk of it.
But the monitoring of it, that we
get
the
what
chain.
We are getting what we're supposed to get.
Where we should.
Exactly. That's my worry.
This has been our crisis.
Yes,
for
not about
charging,
overcharging people and all of that.
We know how our institutions are like. Absolutely. This is really the next frontier. For me, this is the challenge sort of I throw on to youth. You see, our problem is not ideas. There are many ideas out there. Our problem is that organizational ability, so that ideas can give me, really, I can implement them and they give me the outcomes I want. Isn't it? They've called it the crisis of governance. They've called it all sorts of things. But it's simply that organizational ability, that organizational nous to translate ideas into outcomes. I think that's it, but there are many ideas out there.
There are many ideas.
Well, true.
All right.
So moving on, I think we can invite Ansumana Esonyasi now.
No,
We have another headline.
Let's do the farmers in North Bank region express dissatisfaction over cash scarcity in Secos.
Yesterday, I know you're coming on me. anyway, according to the one that I visited when I went to Kudang in CRR, right there in Kudang, I went there and they told me, oh, there's money available. There's no form of scarcity. So, I was there, you know, things were happening smoothly, but this is in the North Bank region.
And
that is in CRR. It's a different situation from there to here. But according to them too, because now the finances are quite organized with Q-Money and with Ajib, you won't lose your money accordingly. The bulk finishes, which is normal, and then they bring money back. You know, and this is a WhatsApp audio. So it can be anybody who's disgruntled and just decide to send in an audio, and the journalist picked it up and decided to do a story on it. So it's a WhatsApp audio, not like an association, whole union coming out to say that this is what happened. We need to be careful when it comes to that as well.
Absolutely. And even the so-called journalists, maybe when you go into the story, the journalists will explain things. Because when I hear one side of a story, as a journalist, I'm not satisfied.
Right.
So I will have to go and talk to these people, the secos, you know, the ones unmentioned, ask them why not. So one needs to get the other side of a story so that you can really get a realistic picture, as it were, of what's going on. Otherwise, it will be distorted.
Yeah, because when I went to CRA and spoke to that person who's in charge of that SECO, what he told me was sometimes the bulk money finishes, you know, and it's normal that it finishes, and then when, you know, they restock, then people get paid. You know, it's not like people are not going to get paid, because these are like, they're partnering with structured institutions like Q-Money and Ajib Bank, for instance. You know, you wouldn't expect that these people will not pay you, how with the structures put in place and everything.
Let me just give you a parallel here. Maybe it's important for us to talk about it. And here, no disrespect. I remember when the teachers' union, when they were on strike, I spoke to one of their staff. We were talking about the COVID-19 allowances.
Right.
Then we said that there was a structure of payment going on. He even acknowledged that 90% of the staff had been paid, maybe just 10% remained, but yet they saw the need to go on strike. So this is it. I don't understand it. Is there a certain impatience with structures going on? Because if I have a structure, we all agree that it is working. But again, we know how government or bureaucracies can work. They can be slow anywhere in the world. Yes, of course, we can quicken it, that sort of thing, granted. There's a certain impatience, there's a certain distrust.
Well, you know, I am a bit confused.
Yeah, but I don't think it's impatience, Mr. Boj. Bureaucracy, it's frustrating.
Well, I think,
But I find public life, the interaction so confrontational in many ways.
I get that point.
I get that sense of,
Yeah.
I just do not understand it. I'm not sure how you're going to build a society like that.
Based
there
on
must
that.
be basic trust. But again, you have so many different interests, perhaps even undermining one another. It's a curious kind of unfolding that we are seeing today, post-Jammeh, as it were. And even when you go to traffic, there's a lot of aggro. We are so aggressive towards one another. It's a rather curious thing that we are seeing, and we've lived long enough to see certain differences.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right.
Yes, Jaraba, I think this is the right time to take a break.
Yeah, so we will go for a short break, and we have Ansumana Isonyasi. So Ansumana Isonyasi yesterday was right there, and he was able to witness some of the happenings right there. I'm not going to preempt what he's about to say, so he will join us soon and just take us through what he saw yesterday and how he felt as a Gambian, you know. So we'll go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, we'll be joined by Ansumana Isonyasi.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
want it, order for it, and pay quickly using QuickPay on the QMoney platform. With great technology comes ease and convenience. Get a glimpse of what a comfortable life is with QMoney by dialing *323# now. Call 133 for more information. QMoney, Sunyu Kalbe.
Light. From the beginning of time, light has been there.
It is integral to our survival and to our way of living.
We need light to work,
To build,
to grow things, and even to see our loved ones.
light makes things easier and better.
So QCell has changed the way you buy Q-Power to make it easier and more accessible.
You can now access the same service quickly and get your cash power tokens instantly with the new QCell Q-Power code.
To light up your world, simply dial *363#.
With a touch of your fingers,
With ease and convenience from the comfort of your home or office,
you can bring light into your world instantly with *363#.
Q-Power, lighting your world.
QCell Sunyabus.
We innovate, others follow.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning, and I am Jenna Posonko, joined by Ibrahim Abalde here and Sumana Isunyasi, and still Mamadou Mbodj. Yesterday, like I mentioned, Sumana Isunyasi was right there when things were happening as intensive gunfire in Casamas scares away residents of neighboring villages. Thank you so much, Sumana Isunyasi, for joining us. Mr. Mbodj has obviously already delved into the history of this particular problem, talking about how it's beyond just the social relationship that we have with Casamas, but is about political and diplomatic ties we have with Senegal as a sovereign state. So yesterday, what did you see exactly? Take us through that. How was the situation?
Thank you, Jennifer. Good morning to you, Balde and Mr. Mbodj, and to our viewers out there. I mean, first I would like to commiserate with the people of Fonyi, especially those who live within the border villages, for the sleepless nights and what they're going through, having seen it firsthand. And I would also want to make an appeal to anybody who can support. You have so many internally displaced persons out there, and even refugees who've crossed from the Senegal end, from the Casamas end, who do not have shelter or food as we speak. And I would like to urge, be it government, anybody who can support, to go there and help. I would also want to thank the Gambian soldiers in Kanilai who are patrolling the area continuously. Because I've been there, I know if they're not there, what could happen. Now, I went to Kampant first. Kampant is right on the highway. I went to Balen, I went to Kappa, Karunor, Laiterkunda, and Kanilai, as well as Kanfenda. These are all border, I mean, on the other end, of course, Kanfenda is on the road, as well as Kampant, but Kappa, Balen, Karunor, Kanilai, these are all bordered with Casamas. And because of the proximity, they are dealing with the impact, you know, firsthand. I saw selling, you know, firsthand. You have people's farms all burnt to ashes, villages deserted. I've seen all that, and it's really very sad out there, I can tell you, and very scary as well.
So is the Gambia Red Cross Society or any relief organization present at the time that you were there to support?
There is absolutely nothing like that until I left that place in the evening yesterday. Except for, like I said, the Gambian soldiers who are based in Kanilai, who are doing a fantastic job out there, patrolling, talking to the people. And in fact, I remember talking to Del Carlo of Kappa, and he said to me, he was the only one there, like the entire village, and I said to him, how comes you're here? Everyone is gone. And he said to me, I cannot go and leave my village like this. I said, but why? You know, you're risking yourself. And he said to me, well, at least we have Gambian soldiers patrolling this place, so I feel a bit safe. I went into some of, you know, the rooms there at his home as well. You can see bullets, you know, and how they've destroyed the whole roof. It's really very sad out there. And if you look at the proximity where these cells are landing, it's very close to homes, people's homes.
Okay.
And I think this is why they're all running away. Now, I spoke to one of the senior officers in Kanilai, and he made me understand that these patrols they're doing is around villages they're considered to be prone to, like, maybe if
attacks,
if these things, if it intensifies, they would likely, have to deal with the impact directly. And this is from Kalaji down to Bullock. But from what they suspect is that these cells are being fired from the villages of Bajiga and Lafa. Lafa is in Casamas.
Right.
So the Senegalese soldiers are using these aerial weapons that, when fired, would reach a minimum of 700 meters.
Okay.
And if you look at the proximity from where they're being fired and where they're landing within Gambian territory, it's really very, very close.
Okay.
Yeah. Even before we left Kappa, Balen rather, I mean, there were two explosions, cells that dropped, and then we had to leave. In Kanilai too, even before we left, there were two more, which we saw firsthand. And I can tell you it's quite scary.
Yeah, we saw you in that picture holding
it's a fragment.
It's a fragment of one of the shells.
Exploded.
Yeah.
In one of the castle farms in Balen, and I can tell you the entire farm, talking about like hectares, a very large area farm, all burnt to ashes. So the environmental destruction as well, not only the humanitarian aspect of this impact of this, but you look at the environmental destruction that this is causing. It's really very sad.
But I also want to ask your safety. As a journalist, because this is not usual in Gambia, being a journalist and going to places like this where these issues are happening. At a personal level, how did you feel? Because anything could have happened.
For the first time in many years in this job, I am scared while doing my work.
Right.
Which is understandable. However, what I did was, as soon as I left the combo areas, I called the commander in Kanilai to let him know that I am within his territory.
Right.
And these are people I know. So, and he was very supportive with his people, I have to say. So at least I felt a bit safe.
Okay, so they were around you.
In fact, they even offered me lunch. We had lunch together. And I want to tell them thank you for that. Yeah, really. They were very, very supportive, to be honest, and they're doing a great job.
The displaced families, where are some of them living at the moment?
The reason I started with that appeal is because I see what they're going through.
Right.
You have them scattered around these villages in Kappa, in Kampan rather, some in Kanilai. But you realize even some people within Kanilai have also moved to Mayok and other villages because you have cells, some of these cells landing in Kanilai as well. So even though, of course, there is a camp in Kanilai, you have people, the place is, a bit calm, but with these cells, and I am made to understand by one of the senior officers there that when these cells land, the impact, it could cover anything that is 300 meters close to where it's landed. So you can see how unsafe it is, especially for people out there. But what angers me more in all of this is the fact that people's farms are burnt to ashes, our bushes where you have animals grazing, everything is burnt. You look at that, this is really very sad. And it is not only, that one is in Kanilai, you have it in Kappa, in Balen, in Karunor, all over those, border villages. And it's very, very sad. I spoke to one of the alcalos there, and he took us to where one of these cells landed, and he was trying to explain to us, the impact it has had. And then he turned to his right. He looked at the castle farm there. It's a very vast, large area. And he cried, and he said to me, all the work we've done in the past months is gone. And who is going to account for that? Nobody, sadly.
Okay. Gambia, the fire service, were they there to at least help extinguish the fire?
Yes, from Balen, which is the last village, right at the border, we had to come back because we couldn't use the back way. There was selling still going on. We came all the way to Kampant, and then we had large explosions again. So I called the commander and I said to him, I'm coming to your area. And he said, okay, you guys are welcome. We went up to Kanfenda. We had another loud explosion, and within minutes we saw, flames and smoke. Everywhere was dark. So we went there, took pictures of it. as soon as we moved a bit, we saw few, like a convoy of Senegalese soldiers, and then we saw the fire service, I think is the one in Kanilai, one of their trucks. We passed that one, and we went into Kanilai. But yeah, the fire service, I don't think they can do much when it comes to what is happening there, because I mean, how safe are they in the first place? Because these things are coming all over, and you know, you have no idea where it's going to land. So I don't think they could have done much really when it comes to that. And one of the things that the people there were complaining is the fact that the Senegalese army, you know, was using Gambian airspace very close. I mean, even when we were there, you could see the Senegalese military plane, you know, and they felt very, very unsafe. They were complaining about it. Some even cried while talking to us off camera, because it is those planes that are dropping those cells, those bombs. So you can imagine how scary it is out there.
Yeah, so Mr. Mboch, now that you've listened to Ansumana Isonyasi, you took us through the history. We talked about political and, you know, just diplomacy and everything. Did you ever expect that this would reach the stage, considering that you've lived to witness the interactions between Casamance and Senegal and Gambia being in the middle? Did you ever expect that we will reach this point?
Well, let's put it this way. There was always the risk.
Yeah.
Given the geography. The fact that it had not sort of happened in the past, so at any rate, I do not have any memory of it.
Okay.
There might be an historian out there, or many people out there who might say that.
But you can't remember any.
In 1986, something happened. Oh, in 1984, something happened. Stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised that in the past
you
there were
you are not aware of any?
Absolutely, none at all. But here, so I just have a few questions for you, Mr. Nyasi. The firing, for me, it's very crucial. So you mean the Senegalese soldiers, were they on Gambian territory firing?
The plane is actually within
Gambian, there was a plane.
Gambian airspace.
Yes, Gambian airspace.
The Senegalese soldiers were stationed in Kanilai and Biam. Of course, they are doing their usual normal patrol around that end. Even when the last, cell landed between Kanilai and Kamfenda, where you have the former president's garden, and there was like fire all over the place. You know, within minutes, Senegalese soldiers who were stationed in Kanilai, they arrived there. But then the firing, those that are doing the firing are doing it, you know, on the other side of the border.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yes.
But I think what is curious here as well is that, was it the Senegalese economic, those who were within the economic, or outside of it?
Outside of the economic.
It's quite crucial for us to make this distinction.
And also, I think the question you just asked is quite vital, to find out exactly if they were in Gambian territory. Because at the time that these things were happening, you were in there. So it's a bit...
From what I have seen firsthand, and of course I did engage senior military officers there, and even the residents there, I can confirm to you that the military plane, the Senegalese military plane, was within Gambian airspace. Oh, right. That I have seen with my own eyes. The firing that is being done, the selling, is coming from the Senegalese end, right, into Gambia. Now, but what they're complaining here is, and I think it's very genuine, these, aerial weapons, you control them, and you can determine how far you want to fire. Now, if I am firing, let's say I am firing from 15 miles away, and I know that this weapon I am firing can at least reach a minimum of 700 meters, and I know if it goes beyond that, it's going into Gambia. Yeah. Why fire beyond? Right. This is what they're complaining about.
All right. Thank you so much, Ansumana Isonyasi. Due to time constraints, we have to let you go now, but thank you so much, and we're happy that you're back safe. That's the most important thing, in as much as we want to report it, but we also want to leave to see our report. Right? Thank you so much for the work that you do. We will now go for a short commercial break, and when we come back, the program continues. Do stay tuned.
Now, with Aji Bank, you can make your vehicle number plate payments without any hassle. Walk into any of our bank branches or agencies located at Banjul, New Joswang, Karaba Avenue, Bakote, Tranquil Brusubi, Brikama, Basse, Farafenye, Numuyel or Garawal. Your number plate payments now made easy with Aji Bank. For more information, please call us on 422-8405 or 377-5811. Aji Bank, your investment partner.
to light. I am the light at the end of the tunnel, and my technology is the answer. I am the happiness in your life. I keep you connected, and I am Q Power. I am QCell. I am Senior Boss. We innovate, others follow. Call 111 for more information.
Begin your SUV life. S-Pass Motors, the new authorized dealer for Kia. Visit us today or call us on 3522 222 353 2222.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. And now moving on, we're on Community Watch, am I right? Talking about water shortage in Laiterkunda, Sabiji. Like I mentioned, NAWEC has been communicating when it comes to other areas having to suffer from water shortage. But when it comes to Laiterkunda, Sabiji, it's not periodical. It's every single time. It's too frequent and it's really disturbing the community as to doing their daily chores and just, you know, water is important in whatever that you do, but we're joined by a representative here from Laiterkunda, Sabiji, Philip Anthony Silva, who will further take us through this particular problem. I'm not sure if we have to take a look at a story before we talk to Mr. Silva here. Do we have a story that we need to take a look at on the Community Watch before we do the interview? If we have one, let's take a look at that and we'll be right back. If we do not, we can continue with the interview. I'm not sure we have one. Yeah. All right. Yeah, so, yeah, thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Silva.
Good morning. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Viewers.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's good to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
When a Manjaku man is in Thai, it's always good. Huh?
Mr. Silva. Yes, Munglatwan. So now, let's take a look at the difficulties there.
So, well, thank you for having me. I am here representing Laiterkunda Sabiji, and we are showing our indignation to the fact that since we've been lamenting these water constraints, up to now, no changes. Nothing has been done.
Right.
Nothing, absolutely. We are still in this predicament of waking in the morning, finding water. We have good Samaritans in the neighborhood that have boreholes, privately owned boreholes, where people go and fetch water. In fact, they extend taps out in the street so that people can just have water. Yeah, that's what we depend on. Okay. If not, we would have been starving by now.
Mr. Silva, for how long have this been going on? I mean, for how long?
22 years now, approximately. And adding insult to injury, for 8 months now, in fact, our water supply ceased completely.
Okay.
Completely.
For the past 8 months?
Constantly, exactly.
Okay, so did you form a delegation or do anything to engage maybe NAWEC or your ward councillor You know, I'm sure you have a ward councillor there at Laiterkunda, Sabiji.
Ansumana,
Yes, so did you involve him? Did you have a meeting with him? Because he's the authority there to be able to channel some of your grievances to the right direction. Did that happen?
No, we didn't do that. But the reason we didn't do that, we are quite sure he's aware, and in fact, he's even staying right there in Laiterkunda, Sabiji. And secondly, we just understand that it's now high time we engage the media, so that it can reach the relevant authorities, because initially we believe the relevant authorities were not aware, so that's why we engage the media, and through the help of the media, the authorities are well informed now, but still nothing has been done.
But don't you think communities sometimes also need to follow channel, as in what steps, because sometimes the argument can be that you did not follow the right procedure to actually solve whatever problem that is ongoing in the community. So are you saying that you expected maybe the ward councillor to talk to you people, or you should have spoken to him and then you guys can take it up from there before escalating it? I'm just asking.
Yeah, you are right, but we expected the ward councillor, that is Ansumana Bayo, to come to us and then do his findings, or to try to know what exactly is happening, but he didn't do that. And then we actually know that he is aware, so then we also took it upon ourselves to forward the matter through the media.
Right.
Okay, forwarding this matter, I mean, it involves process and steps.
That's right.
Are you forwarding this matter to the media with the ward councillor himself, or you are doing it independently without his knowledge? We just want to know, because ward councillors, it is incumbent upon them for them to stand for their community.
So,
yes.
And do you also have a committee who's leading this?
Yes.
Well, not actually a committee. We, the residents, are just mobilizing one another, and then, you know, go to the media. So sometimes we do. We've been inviting the media personnel. Yeah, because the reason we do that is we understand that the relevant authorities, especially at the top, would say they were not aware, and they would be right. So that's why we started with that. But still now, there is no changes.
There is no changes.
Okay.
Yeah. So you've been engaging them in the past.
So how is this affecting students, school-going children?
Yeah, it's affecting them terribly, because they need water to take bath before they go to school. They need water to drink. They need water, you know, to do all necessary activities of the day. So it's affecting all and sundry.
Okay.
All and sundry.
All right. So what do you think should be the next step now, moving forward?
Now the next step, we would, like you said, we will try to see whether we would be able to probably talk to our parliamentarian, probably to see whether he has something else he can do. We try to see that as well.
All right, so thank you so much,
you know,
Mr. Silva.
there are other areas, I mean, that also allege that, I mean, despite them not having water, NAWEC still bring them water bills.
Exactly. In fact,
is that the case here?
That's it. Even this past Sunday, they brought a bill. I saw it myself.
Right.
They are still bringing bills.
Okay. After all this while,
exactly,
of not getting water.
Exactly. They are still bringing bills. They are still.
Yes. So, Mbadu, thank you so much, Mr. Silva, for coming. Laiterkunda Sabiji there, having to suffer huge water scarcity. Like you said, you will have to go back to engage some of the authorities there. That is the next step, as you mentioned. Talk to your wards councillor, the committee there, and all of that, so that they can engage the necessary authorities to know what can be done. If they need to lobby for boreholes, they can go ahead and lobby for boreholes for the community as well, so that you can use it. All of those things can be possible.
It's maybe Mr. Silva coming here and talking to the media doesn't mean that the ward councillor is not doing his job. I mean, just for the ward councillor to understand this, it's not that you are bypassing him. It's frustration. Sometimes frustration can lead you to certain things. You know. So you know, we wish you good luck. I wish people can see this and come to you.
Yeah, so we are calling hopefully when you go back and have conversations with the committee and all the responsible authorities in Laiterkunda Sabiji, then they'll be able to channel it to question, to ask now like what the problem is, what can be done, and also further mobilize resources to come up with boreholes. We've featured stories here, and then they've had other authorities support them to come up with
Laiterkunda Sabiji, it's a very big community.
Right,
I mean,
right.
You know, you have a whole lot of schools.
A lot of
imagine a school
businesses.
going without water. A community
yeah.
like Laiterkunda.
Yeah.
And the boreholes are not potable, most of them. Almost all of them are not potable. We use them only to wash, to take bath.
You can drink?
No, they are not potable. When we want to drink water, we go all the way to Nawek tank. It's not far away. Nawek, their main tank there. That's where we fetch water for drinking purpose.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Silva, for joining us on the program. So we will now go for a short break, and when we come back, we will once again be taking a look at a waste management campaign by the University of the Gambia Students Union. We'll be right back.
Light. From the beginning of time, light has been there.
It is integral to our survival and to our way of living.
We need light to work,
to build,
to grow things, and even to see our loved ones.
Light makes things easier and better.
So QCell has changed the way you buy Q-Power to make it easier and more accessible.
You can now access the same service quickly and get your cash power tokens instantly with the new QCell Q-Power code.
To light up your world, simply dial *363#.
With a touch of your fingers,
with ease and convenience from the comfort of your home or office,
you can bring light into your world instantly with *363#.
Q-Power, lighting your world.
QCell Sunyabus.
We innovate, others follow.
Begin your SUV life. S-Pass Motors, the new authorized dealer for Kia. Visit us today or call us on 3522-222, 353-2222.
Everything I touch turns into light. I am the light at the end of the tunnel, and my technology is the answer. I am the happiness in your life. I keep you connected, and I am Q-Power. I am QCell. I am Sunyabus. We innovate, others follow. Call 111 for more information.
With so many things to do in a single day, it's important to have a network you can trust. When there's family and friends to connect with and business calls to make, you need a network that is reliable and fast. Talk longer, browse faster, go farther, and roam wider. When your network is solid, the world is your oyster. QCell, your trusted network in the Gambia.
Welcome back from that short break. If you're just tuning in, you're watching QTV this morning. We dealt with our community watch, we dealt with newspaper review, and all other updates that you need. So head right onto our Facebook and YouTube page just to get to know what you've missed. It has been an interesting one. And now we're taking a look at the University of the Gambia Students Union staging a campaign when it comes to zero waste. To help us understand how they'll be able to achieve this, we're joined by Mr. Saini Sise, Deputy Agriculture and Environment Minister for the UTG-S2, the Minister Dekapede, Minister for the UTG-S2, and Muhammad Haidara, Agriculture and Environment Committee Member, UTG-SU. So let's welcome our guest here, Ibrahima. Thank you so much for joining us, gentlemen. Gentlemen, thank you so much. So yeah, you're talking about the zero waste campaign at a school where it's a lot of people, hundreds of students there, you know, having to control that might be difficult, but I'm 100% sure there's an innovative way that you've decided to put in place to be able to achieve this ambitious plan, even more ambitious than our NDC. Mohammed.
Definitely, yes. Yeah, but I'll allow my honorable minister to first lay
all right,
out
Mr. Sise, thank you for joining us.
All right, thank you so much for giving us the audience. Yes, we have put in place strategies as a council to better manage waste, and one of these strategies is to embark on a quarterly cleansing exercise that is before the commencement and at the end of semesters. And aside from that, we also have launched a campaign on sensitizing or building awareness, whereas every Wednesdays and Thursday we'll be sending messages to inform and also awaken the minds of the people that we have to be responsible in the way we dispose of our waste. That dustbins are available, even whereas you don't have dustbins, your bags are available. Put it there. Whenever you see a trash bin, you put it there. Because we believe as a council that individual action matters a lot. And if you look at the university, we have 3 campuses, Banjul, Brikama, and Kanifing. And our cleansing exercises are just quarterly basis. So we need a lot of individual actions intermittently at all school level to ensure that waste are properly managed. In addition to that, our ministry is also working on having a segregated bins because we believe these waste are not necessarily bad. We can recycle them and we can reuse them because the students' union have a farm. And this farm, we want to go organic because we think that is what is good for our health and also our environment, because chemical fertilizers aren't good for the soil, and also if eutrophication happens, they also cause harm to the marine environment. Right. So this is why we want to segregate. We also want to launch an initiative where we'll have segregated bins for glasses, cans, and organic waste. So we use the organic waste, compost them, and use them as a manure to enhance, and also use it for research, for both within the university and outside. Interested researchers.
So Mohammed, I know this is not the first time we're having a conversation on segregated waste anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
So once again, are you collaborating with Gambia Ocean Heroes, collaborating with them to ensure this, considering that you came up with the initiative?
Yeah, that one is from Gambia Ocean Heroes.
No, but I just want to know.
Yeah, definitely.
Because he touched it anyway.
Yeah, I know. But like, actually, the waste segregation has been like, I'm like the pioneer, but like I'm now working with the UTG Student Union as a university student.
Right.
Because I think I once told you this, that for us to impact change, we have to study with the academia side.
Right.
So I cannot be a university student and then the people that I believe are designed to reshape this beautiful country, and they cannot do it alone. So we always have to come together with amazing mindset to transform this narrative. So that's what brought us together to come up with the Zero Waste campaign from the Ministry of Agri and Environmental Sciences under the Student Union to make sure that students are aware of how to mitigate their waste. Because waste, the reason why it is a challenge outside of the academia sector, I mean like in the public sector, is because of people that are educated are not doing what they're supposed to do to make sure that these wastes are mitigated. So that is the main essence. The UTG Student Union is now embarking on Zero Waste campaign quarterly, as my minister rightfully said, so that students can be aware how to reduce their waste, as well taking action with themselves, taking care of not call on any other area council but themselves, cleaning the campus before academics begin and after academic close. So that is a very important step.
Yeah, I like the fact that, I mean, you are doing this when it comes to the university. I mean, because like you mentioned, most of these waste are done by people who don't have the understanding. You understand? So I think, you know, capturing the minds of people in the university will play a great role when these people go out to the society. But I hope you people too are doing all that you can to make sure, I mean, this is well followed by students of the university.
Okay, thank you for that question. Yes, we are doing that. Like I say, we launch weekly, almost every 3 days, that is on Wednesdays and Thursdays, we reach out to university students, simulate to them using graphics, that once you have your waste, do not put it under the table. There are trash bins outside, go place it there. We do that. And aside from that, I'm not sure it's necessarily about being educated or otherwise, because today while I was coming around Busumbala, I saw a well-dressed man. Okay, after using it, he just threw the tissue paper outside
on the road. I mean, it happens all the time.
Oh, it happens all the time. So you see, and those people are presumed to be educated people, but do we we are one of those that will complain that this country is not hygienic and this, but you forget that you are one of the contributors to that dirtiness in the society or in the country. So what we are saying is that this has to start with me, myself. I have to change the way I dispose of waste, how I manage waste, and relay the information to other people, so it goes on until the people countrywide hears our campaign. Also, this is not also limited to University of the Gambia. Okay, but also outside, because we usually are invited to radio talk shows where we talk to the whole population that we can manage waste, and these wastes are not necessarily bad. It just depends on how you manage them. Okay. All right, so we're doing a lot right now, and hopefully we also want to expand as much as possible to have community outreach, which we did during the student, but that's not limited, because that is just around the LRR. So we will also try to see how best we can reach to the general public, students, schools, to sensitize them, to tell them how best they can contribute to a cleaner environment.
My concern, gentlemen, is that we've been talking for so long about issues that relate to waste management. There's a lot of talk, like every single time we come here, talk about it. Every single time we come on this morning or any other platform to talk about it, and the change is not happening. I don't know what innovative thing we can put in place to change this, because I'm not sure talking is really the solution to this. We have these laws, the anti-littering laws, and all of these things that we are not even following. And we've been talking since its enactment, was it in 2016, something around that end? 2015, when Jammeh was here, till today, ñu ngee wax. So, how much I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I think that's a very key thing that you just touched, because we have so many amazing, beautiful policy, as everyone rightfully know. But I believe the right fundamental pillars have not been touched.
Okay, which are?
Which are the grassroots level, the schools. They need to be inculcated, to be aware. The things that you learn, the reason why we are more modernized is because of what we learn. So that's why this campaign is designated for university students to take the ownership. Okay. If they are, that's why there is one thing that we normally capture there, what we call action-oriented. We don't want you to be just be, vocal talking, or whatsoever, but be action-oriented. Whatever you publish, make sure that you do it on the ground with yourself. So that's why this campus cleanup was a very great success, because some students, this was their first time for them to embark on cleaning exercise. For them, they normally see, area council doing it and other people doing it, but themselves have never done it. So this was a great step, and we are not only limiting to that. This campus cleanup also, create another door for us as well, which we call, to conduct a very amazing research with each of our municipality to help them tackle this thing. Because University of the Gambia is the highest learning institution in the Gambia here. So they will be collaborating, the ministry will be collaborating with Brikama Area Council, with Banyu City Council, and Kanemi Municipality to make sure that, they help them and assess some of these things that is an hindrance to the community, the waste management issue.
But again, what is the availability of waste bins, Honorable Minister, at the University of the Gambia? How many minutes nga dox pour nga gis waste bin because soo waxee ne zero waste tamit you have to make sure that there's places where you can actually put stuff in toilets in different places. Is that available?
They are available but in limited amount.
Dama la doon xaar nag man university student la man si corner bi la doon xaar.
So they are limited. However, during this cleansing exercise at Brikama campus where I was leading, we were opportune to have 4 from BAC. We know that is not enough. However, we also working towards having an audience with KMC, BCC, and these people, so we can get enough bins as possible. But generally, we have to be honest here. Having a bin is one thing, but being responsible in using the bin is another thing. Because you see some classrooms like around Agric and anybody who knows that area, you go outside, there are bins there, but you see people eat inside the classroom and litter around. Bins are available. University of the Gambia, although we are deficient in trash bins, but nobody can tell me across campuses that I can walk for about 5 or let's say about 100 meters without seeing a bin.
Yeah, but Honorable Minister, this for me, zero waste management, the first time I saw it, you know what came to my mind? Sufficient bins. It's the first step. That's my first step. You know why? Don't give people a reason to say, I cannot do the right thing because this is not available. So how about starting with a campaign of sufficient bins before we talk about zero waste where we have to do cleaning? Maybe if that is available, then we will not have to do cleansing exercises. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, I think everyone is honest here. I think like the attitude play a key role.
Agreed.
So like, you know, even that, as my minister rightfully say, if you can have billions of trash bins on campus, but if I'm not oriented to use those bins, I will never use it.
But let's test it.
You know,
let's test it at the university first.
If you will not be surprised, visit most of this university classroom. Under the table.
That's true.
Can you imagine? Student littering under the table.
True.
And then you call yourself as a role model. So what are you expecting, Geneva? I think that's why we say we are trying to sort out the grassroots problem, which is to engage them. The more, I think everyone used to adapt to something. The more you do something, it gradually helps you to understand the reason. So we are
but what I'm putting across here, let us not allow them to have a but. Oh, they're telling us this but. The moment there's a but there, someone can depend on it. You know what I mean? So let's also start a sufficient bin campaign. How about that? Let's start it here. If BCC and KMC and the Brikama Area Council is watching, they can take it up from there.
Okay, in response to that, this council came into power not long ago, and we have a limited duration. However, what we're going to do, I mean, this is not going to be a strong, that much strong advice, but we have in our plan that we want every 10 meters a dustbin. We have that in our plan, and we're working towards that. Like I said, we were able to meet all these area councils, and for Brikama Area Council, I met one of the directors of the facility director, who has Jadama, who has given me assurance that come, let's have a table, let's discuss about what you want, because waste management is second priority for the council, and we believe university could do a lot because they are the highest learning institute. So we will work towards that. We'll ensure that we have sufficient bins in across campuses for students to use. But I mean, Geneva, like I say, I mean, this is about individual orientations.
True.
People can have those bins just a step from where they are, but yet not use it. So this is why we want to. So this is why we want to start with the awareness now. That's why the campaign is.
My problem is do a studies. My problem is do a studies first. Let's not jump into conclusions about it. Let's use the availability of bins as a case study to actually have proper research as to the behavior of these people. I mean, we're university students. You know, we embark on these things. We do these things. So let's give that a try. That is my recommendation. And after that, you come back on this morning and tell us, we did this. This is what we found.
No, definitely we will give you that result. Because,
Please
because
do.
I already said that we already secure 4 bins from Brikama Area Council. And those 4 bins will be used as a research. And that is our plan for that. But then in mitigation toward the NDC, National Determined Contribution, that we are trying to put forward from the university, we are not only limited to waste management as well.
It goes beyond.
Because we are also we also embark on mangrove plantation. because which we conducted in one of the most affected region in the Gambia here in terms of mangrove dieback. That is Lower River region. You know, in Tendaba, when we went for the student week for the first time, the council embarked on an amazing mangrove planting. We planted almost 500 plus mangroves there to make sure that the community of Tendaba are completely protected from soil intrusion.
And thank you so much for that. Due to time constraints, yes, thank you so much, Mohammed. I am so happy that you're going beyond just waste and you're taking a look of mangrove
yeah, we are talking about the NDC here. That's why. So zero waste, zero carbon. So everything is all connected.
Yeah, let everything be clean. But anyway, thank you so much, Honorable Minister. When a minister comes to your platform, you try to push them, right?
Yeah.
And a committee member here. So thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us on the program. Thank you so much for the initiative. Thank you so much for the work that you do. So Ibrahim, I'm afraid that is all we have time for. Till we come your way tomorrow with another interesting program. Bye for now.
ndox mu set te ndox mu set dafa bokk ci dunni doomu aadama te biir kat amul seetu waral na lépp lu fay dugg dafa war a doon li nga xamante ne ni lu indil doomu aadama bi loraange ci wàllu wérugu yaram One Stop Water Solution Limited ñu ngi fii ci biir réew taxaw temm fexe pour gis ne doomu aadama bu ne di nga naan ndox moo xamante ne ni ndox mu sell te wóor la ndax indil nañ leen ay xeetu filtres yi nga xamante ne ni mun ngeen koy jëfandikoo ci seeni pompe yi ci biir réew moo xam booxul ngay jëfandikoo wala pompe nawek yi ne bépp xeetu filtre bi nga xamante ne ni dina la indil wér gu yaram musal la ci loraange amal nañ leen ko ci biir réew am nañ 10-inch filter set of 3 bii nag ñett lay àndal bu ci ne ak li muy liggéey bokk na ci 5 micron pp sediment filter bii nag mooy segg ndox mi ba mu set génnee fa lépp li nga xamante ne ni warta ànd ak ndox moomu bala nga koy jëfandikoo gak granule carbon filter bii nag mooy segg génnee lépp lu xeetoog chemical ak organique yi nga xamante ne ñoom ñoo nekk ci biir ndox mi sellal ndox mi ba waral mu soppi li nga xamante ne moom la ndox mi di saf mu soppi cafin gi def ko ndox mu sell te óor CTO block carbon filter bii nag du yem rek ci segg ndox mi sellal ko ba mu sell waaye nag daf koy yokk ay ngéneel yi nga xamante ne ni day baax ci wér gu yaramu doomu aadama bi dëgëral waaye tamit yàggal lool sa yuur wi am nañ tamit 12-inch filter set of 3 boobu it liggéey bu nu mel lay def ñetti filter yépp benn bu ne ak lu muy liggéey am nañ 10-inch post carbon 10-inch coconut carbon 75 GPD pure one membrane bi amal nañ leen bépp xeetu water tank tàmbalee ko ci 500 litres 5000 ba ci 1000 litres ak plumbing fittings kon nag mbokk yi bu ngeen buggee naan ndex yu sell te wóor seeti leen One Stop Water Solution Limited suñu makkaan bu mag baa nga foofa ca Sukuta Highway Mariama Johnson wala nga call ñu ci 505 5691 796 8272 One Stop Water Solution Limited ndox mu set mooy yàggal dund ni doomu